What makes a brand like Coca-Cola, Apple, Tesla withstand the test of time and become durable, long-lasting brands? Understanding how these big brands achieve this will help any new brand or a startup become durable. In this video, we'll explore a framework that will act as a lens looked through to determine how sustainable a brand or a startup will be in the future. I first came across this article in Harvard Business Review, which I'll link below, and it made so much sense that I had to and wanted to create an easy to understand slide deck that you can refer to really quickly. So the big question is, what makes a brand durable? Even as a business model, technology, and consumer behavior changes. And knowing answer to this will help separate a successful brand from a brand that is doomed to fail. It's also important to understand what a brand means in this context, because I think this framework we're about to discuss is universal and can apply to products, startups, and businesses. Historically, if we look at top brands since 1950 and notice that they rarely changed in ranking once they cemented their foot in the top 10 brands list. And this trend continued into the early 2000s, but then something drastic happened. After 2010, we noticed that the top brands that stayed on the top list for a long time started dropping off. And between 2011 and 2021, we see almost all top brands displaced by new incumbents. This rapid turnover of top brands is partly because of consumer behavior becoming digitized and new business models that have blindsided many traditional brands. And if that's the case, how can Coca-Cola, invented in 1892, remain one of the most valuable brands? The key here is that the durable brands are adaptable, as we'll see. So there are four elements to this. They are mastery, accessibility, cadence, and ensnarement. Let's look at each one in detail. First is mastery. Implement a publicly visible, non-transferable reward system into your product so your consumers can receive these rewards for engaging with your product. These rewards can be scores, points, reputation, followers, etc. And accumulating such rewards gives the consumer a sense of mastery limited only to your product, as they are non-transferable to other products. And this helps your brand in two important psychological ways. The first is what we call as an endowment effect, or overvaluing losses. Here, the consumer assigns more value to your product because of their efforts and contributions within your product, and they have to sacrifice a small amount of time or attention within your product. And the second is a familiarity effect, where the consumer starts preferring a product merely because they are familiar with it. And these factors make the consumer much less likely to switch to a competing brand. An example of a product that rewards mastery is Nest thermostat. Nest tracks energy savings and rewards a Nest Leaf for an eco-friendly setting. And achieving Nest Leaf becomes challenging over time, thus encouraging users to interact with the device continuously. You'll also notice rewards for mastery within products in gaining followers on social media, or collecting points or votes on Reddit and Stack Overflow. Thus, a variable reward system allows a business to build a long-lasting brand. The second is accessibility. Make your product more accessible, and depending on your product, this could be appealing to different age groups, availability on different device types, low payment barriers, etc. And three simple ways to make your product more accessible are: first is entry-level pricing. Make your entry-level product ideally free or as cheap as you can. Leverage strategies like subscriptions, deferred payments, etc. And the second is sales channel. Distribute your product or service on as many channels as possible. Digital products can be made available on many many devices or app stores, and physical goods can be sold directly on social media or fulfillment centers for faster delivery. Services can use partnerships or affiliate marketing to increase reach and accessibility. And the third, appeal to broader range of consumers. First-time customers help increase the customer base and move past the growth limit. Marvel Films outperforms rival DC by appealing to all ages with the light-hearted humor and PG-13 rating. And mobile games are some of the best at being accessible as possible, and they're usually free to start playing, available on multiple devices, and appealing to a broader demographic. Next, we have Cadence, constantly strive to be in the forefront of people's mind by creating news and content around your brand. And the first way of building Cadence is keep releasing new products or news related updates. If you made a webinar on a topic or recently spoken at a conference and have a recording of it, create micro content from this long form media and maximize marketing videos. Encourage user generated content such as reviews, testimonials, case studies, and so on. And keep in mind to communicate everything, even failure. Think about the top tech companies like Amazon, Google, Apple, and you'll notice that they constantly have conferences where they release new products and updates. This frequency of news and events keeps their brand fresh in people's minds. Even startups and smaller brands can keep their customers updated with notifications, emails, social posts on what is going on with the business. This frequent flow of updates leads to familiarity effect, where the user is more likely to choose a familiar brand when they come across a new competitor. The last one is ensnarement. Truly brilliant brands are masters of making themselves sticky with their consumers, and brands can improve stickiness by building switching costs and creating network effects. The first way to do is the data trap. One of the reasons people find it extremely difficult to get off social media platforms is network effects. Consider switching off from being connected to friends and followers on social networks, which can sometimes be psychologically painful. And most social platforms have chat features or direct messaging, which adds another level of switching costs if you decide to delete an account. Next is the learning curve trap. Think of Adobe products like Photoshop or Premiere Pro. Knowing these tools takes time and effort, and a user is less likely to switch to a competitor as they'll have to learn an entirely new software tool. And the last is exit trap. Some companies sell products under a contract that creates stickiness, as the user will have to pay an early termination fee if they decide to leave. So, using this MACE framework described above, we can make better decisions for our businesses or generate product ideas or features to build a long-lasting brand. So there you have it, guys. If you enjoyed that video, subscribe to my channel for more of such brand strategy content and marketing content, and I'll see you in the next video.